Bon Bon Bing. What's the name of Scrum? It's going to Beck Scrum on a Monday, and we have Nico and Michael and Eric. Whee! Good stuff. Nico is in first. Nico, how are things going for you this afternoon?
Yeah, I've been doing some changes on this project that I was mentioning in the first Scrum that we had, and in this after Scrum, maybe we can check the SSH through the Doku server. Yeah.
Cool.
And I have no blockers. Yeah, that's all.
Great stuff. Thanks, Nico. Let's go on to Michael. How are things with you, Michael?
Good. So I just haven't really done much since the mob.
Right.
On Elixir, where we did DevOps, really.
Yep.
And that's it. I did notice the Docker Compose project that you had posted somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Paranauts channel.
Paranauts channel, yeah. It looks the most promising.
Yes. There does seem to be, we have a bit of a blocker there. Well, I'll talk more about that in a moment. Let's go. Thank you, Michael. Let's go on to Eric. Hey, Eric, good to see you. How are you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Anything to report? No requirement, of course. You're more than welcome just to listen in.
I'm still finishing up school, so I'm just watching the mobs for now.
Cool.
I do have a question though.
Yeah, go
on. Do you mind I ask a question about the local support?
Go right ahead. What's your question?
On the Pivotal Tracker, I watched your last meeting, and a couple things that you closed are still there on the Pivotal Tracker.
Right. Yes. Okay, that's an interesting question, which we can probably look at right now and resolve super fast. Issues, because you mean that they still appear here in this green?
Yeah.
Yes. And so these are, it's kind of, this is stuff that's now done, and it sort of stays there for a while. And like, that's kind of, that's similar across different trackers. Like in Waffle, you can see normally the stuff that's kind of been closed and finished in a slightly different state for a little while, just to give you a chance that if you need to reopen it and so on, it's easy to find.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense.
Yep. All right. I wasn't sure. I remember I watched the last video, and so you closed a lot of things. I thought they were done already.
Yeah. There's interestingly, there's a way also to see, there's like another in here. You can see like done, and you can actually see like there in principle all the way back to like the very beginning of the project, like 5 years ago.
Yeah, they won't close up until the end of the sprint.
Gotcha.
Which is, it looked like it was May something, because local support has long sprints right now.
Yeah. So. These are all settings that we can tune. But yeah, good question. Okay, that leaves. Unless you have any other questions or thoughts,
No.
Eric. Yeah? All right, that leaves me. Yeah. So the day consisted of, the Elixir mob that Michael was referring to. We're kind of blocked with wanting to. We want the sweet and simple life where we can easily install. What is it called? Like Jitsi, the Jitsi video conferencing stuff onto a nice, well-provisioned box where it will give us all the things we want, like basically to replace Hangouts because it has an API and Hangouts doesn't. That's the Docker file we found didn't really work. Probably won't go into the details there. There seems to be a bit of a confusion in the Jitsi community. There's like 5 different Docker files that different people have done, and like which is the one. And we're starting to get some feedback on one. The one guy says I think the moral of the story is I think it's great to open tickets on when you have issues. I mean, perhaps other people would say no, don't disturb. You shouldn't like put yourself out there into the world and ask people things. No, they'll be offended. They're busy doing other stuff. Don't disturb them. But I'm just this sort of extrovert, crazy poster person, and so I got a list of all of the different ones that are available, posted them in there, and so I'm starting to have this chat with this person here, who says there's like they were able to set up using this one in 2 days, but it took lots of little secrets that were missing, and they might document those little secrets for us in the near future, and who knows. So we'll see how that goes. I'm certainly feeling strongly that we probably don't want to do another DevOps session in the next Elixir mob, and there's I think, well, there's CI stuff to sort out. Gosh, how do we get back to Elixir? Anyway, other things. I've finished the monthly report for the AV trustees. I have put the mentor incentives package together, which is now in the mentors channel. I have also offered new sponsorships to people who are. We've had some sponsorships closed and new ones open. So that's I've sent out those sponsorship offer emails. So those are all like high priority stuff for me to get done. And I guess now we've got the new members meeting coming up. Really, we're going to get planning for the AGM conference that we're having in a while. Yeah, that's about the size of it. Yeah, that's our Scrum, I think.
What's a mob, though?
So that's a mob is so there's this general term of mob programming, which we have co-opted. So there's pair programming and there's mob programming. So pair programming usually involves two people to pair. Mob programming is the idea that rather than just two people at the computer, you can potentially get like there's a French mob programming session where you kind of have two or more. I mean, I guess the mob implicitly is three or more people effectively working on the same problem together, and they call it mobbing. And you can see here, this is mobbing where they're all in the same room. I think that's very common in co-located companies. Sometimes you may have multiple computers or one big shared screen. People may have one big shared screen and they're passing the keyboard to each other. And the idea is that each takes a turn at coding, but it can sometimes be one person is driving and everybody else is just sort of chatting around it. There are lots of different patterns. Specifically within Agile Ventures, we've started doing for a while back like online mob programming sessions. So this is a Scrum where we're just sort of like sharing information out if you answer questions, and it's supposed to be time limited. In a Agile Ventures mob, it usually lasts for an hour. It's exactly like a hangout like this, but we would all potentially we'd all be working on the same programming problem together, potentially taking turns to bash at it, if that makes sense, Eric.
Okay.
Cool beans. Yeah, there's more information on premium mob. Anyway, and we also have a premium mob map package where you can do mobbing, not just on a random project, but on particular technologies. So that's the end of our Scrum. I think outstanding issues were just, the thing that Nico and we were looking at before, which is for the local support project, potentially the DevOps thing there, which is moving that onto Doku and making sure that the SSH keys work for you. Is that, should we look at that quickly?
Yeah, sure.
Yep. So other people, this is, I have to remember, don't feel that you must, like, I just continue talking indefinitely and doing things on the ends of mobs. But if you, Scrums, not mobs. If you need to leave, feel free to leave. That's, no one is required to stay. No one will feel bad if you need to go. But if you want to stay, that's good too. So, local support. So, I mean, if you bring up a terminal, Nico, and share your screen, you should, in principle,
right now,
be able to do the same thing that I can do here. There's the local support window.
Okay.
So I've got, this is my local support. I've got, my list of all my different remotes. In and amongst those remotes, this one actually I created at the end of the last Scrum, where I've got Azure Develop like this. So if you're on your local support, terminal, on a terminal, and navigated to your local Git repository of local support.
Yep.
Then so you should be able to do git remote -v there and see the list of, you might have like a couple of them. Yeah, so you've got staging there, you've got origin. So if you did git remote add and then this combination of Azure develop.
Sure.
Azure develop.
Yep.
And then this rather long thing, which I'll copy into the
yes, please.
Yeah, this is. I think I could make this simpler I could probably do some stuff with the DNS setup to create like a docu.agileventures.org so that this was slightly shorter, but I haven't done that yet. But so if you look at the little elements of this thing here, it's basically specifying a user docu, and then at a particular location. So agileventures.ease.us.cloud.azure.com is the name of a box that we have on Azure, hosted on Azure, and then the :harrow-cn-develop that specifies one kind of container within the Docker
inside the box. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Okay, cool.
So well, even before you do that, so that's got that there. That would potentially allow you to push to it. You could just do, and the nice thing about that is that you've now got that stored. So here, hit return there. So that at least you've got that stored. So now you can issue Doku commands a bit like you would do with the Heroku console, but the way to do that is kind of over SSH. So you do SSH and then space, and then what you want to do is copy from the line above that from Doku at Agile Ventures all the way up to the .com. Just that you don't need the just that, exactly that. And then if you do space, and if you do apps : list, so apps yep, that hit return. I think with your SSH key set up correctly, I just say yes, and
cool.
So that's one of, we've now got a number of Doku boxes. That's another story. But on this one Doku box, that's all the things that are there. And you can see that there's a Harrow CN develop there.
Yes.
So what you can in principle do now is you can do git push Azure-develop and like develop : master. Or just master, in fact, actually, you know. So it Azure-develop.
Sorry. Yeah.
So that's the name of the remote there. And so this is exactly the same as in Heroku, that you might push like git push staging, what have you. We haven't set up any kind of automated deploys. And then you're a master, right? You could push the master. There's
okay. Yeah.
I mean, at the moment, I haven't yet. So I tried this. So if you just hit return now, it will try and deploy that there, and it will. Yeah, it'll have a go, and I suspect it will fail.
Because it was failing before.
Yeah, I mean, I tried pushing the develop branch, and it failed at some point, and there wasn't a very clear error message. So although I think there's certain things that I'm fairly sure that we will need. Like we will need to set up a Postgre database for it to talk to. We will need to do other bits and pieces. But
even without the database, you should be able to push the changes without problem, right? I mean,
oh yeah, I mean the things will go up, but it may be that as part of, I mean, this is the same thing on Heroku. Like if the database isn't configured, or if your config for the database is not correct, sometimes it can just like blow up halfway through. I mean, I was sort of expecting to see like some kind of message like that. Anyway, for reference,
for example, the environment variables that.
But yeah, there may also be like it may need to have the air brake variable set and this, that, and the other. Various sorts of bits and pieces. I have been, so I'll just share this link here. I've been documenting how I deployed like the staging server for Met Plus, which is the same sort of thing in getting it set up. And there, I document going through. I mean, the errors that I encountered there in sequence were air brake project config missing, Postgre, connection missing, and I've got documented there how to fix those. So you can sort of create databases and this, that, and the other, and then link them to your app. Go on, Michael.
You guys are using the build pack, right? Not the.
Yeah, this is all build pack. Yeah, I mean, so conceivably we could be dealing with Docker file, which for local support and Met Plus, which would, I guess, then ultimately, you wouldn't have to do the step-by-step configuration. It would just make the correct database be available and so on. So that's another another element, if you know what I mean.
Yep. Cool.
So I guess probably we should wrap up there.
Okay.
I guess that looks like that's kind of got.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time. So.
Interesting that it should be so slow. But yes, to see what the output is of that. I mean, it's the kind of thing. Yeah, as Michael says, like we could be. I mean, it's an interesting question here about: do we try and Dockerize it, or do we just do the deploy? Yeah, certainly many attractive things about Docker. But anyway, at least the SSH is working, and you have access, and we can keep playing with that.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
cool. All right, and we have 2 viewers. We are in the high. We're in the high. We're moving up through the stream of different internet. All those pictures of cats and cats jumping on things. We're down there, in there somewhere, with our 2 viewers. We can feel proud that we're contributing to the internet experience. Great to see everybody. See you all again real soon. Bye for now.
I think if you got a house cat and brought it on,
that would probably really boost. Yeah. Okay. So tomorrow, everybody bring cats, and we'll see.
Probably be up at 200,000 or something.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's interesting. Yeah, we should do what we need is AI automatically superimposing cat. We make us all look. That's it. That's what we need to do. We need the AI thing superimposing so that we all look like cats. And then, okay, all right, for tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.